So welcome everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. I love talking on this topic of social technology. It will be helpful for me to know a little bit about you all, because you obviously come to the eLATED events, and I've heard great things, you know, in not just this trip, but prior trips in Canada about the eLATED organization. So really look at how learning is changing. It's, you know, I think you can agree that, you know, completions is kind of an old metric. People are really focused on collaborations or consumption of e-learning. So much of the time in the learning space, we think about learners as these defective carbon-based units. They come to us, we might test them to see what they know and where their gaps are. And once we figure those gaps out, we'll send a lot of learning into their head, and maybe we'll test them at the end to see if we fix them. But it's kind of a one-way stream of information. And what I see happening in learning organizations is evolving to more of an interaction. So I'm going to give you something as a learner, but I want you to participate in this community in return. Amplification. The cool thing about social is that it amplifies really good ideas, or even just bad ideas sometimes, or interesting ideas. So how many of you who've raised your hands doing learning are being challenged by millennials, next generation, for new tools, you know, like Facebook, like Twitter, like, and saying, hey, we have this tool. Let's, you know, create your profile during the break. Get on here. Let's start to share some assets to continue the learning that's happening in this classroom. Is one way to, you know, to accelerate this and really drive usage. Anytime you're using Skillsoft assets as part of your learning programs, you can benefit from the social layer by just turning it on. And so that's how we approach it. And the benefit of it is that the idea that you can create a profile, that you can share, you can make comments, you can share your comments, you can rate comments that have been left by others, are all sort of the key functional areas that you get with Ingenious.
John, thank you very much. And thank you again for sort of taking the time. Thank you, Skillsoft, for sponsoring our event again.